Okay, so I believe our first speaker already joined us. So let me introduce our first speaker. He is the head of software engineering program at TELKOM University. He gained his degree in computer science from what is it back then called Telkom School of Technology. Right now it's Telkom University. His master degree of computer science from Institut Teknologi Bandung and his PhD in computer science from the University of New South Wales, Australia. So he will talk about his experience in software engineering Capstone Innovation Project. So with that, I give you the space and time for Mr. Danak SULISTIYO KUSUMO, Ph.D. You can start your talks now. Okay.
Hello?
Hello, can you
Okay.
hear me? Okay.
Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you, Pak Jati, for the time and opportunity. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, I would like to share about experiences in software engineering capstone innovation project that conducted in the Telkom University School of Computing. Next. So, so what is the capstone in the Capstone project in our school? So Capstone project within computer science programs are applied and real life project designed to give student preparation for professional practices. So this is the requirement to graduated from the undergraduate program in computer science and in the form of capstone project. Next. So the innovation project started from lecturer giving capstone topics and problems 1 year ago. So this is the what factor. And then students form teams and bid for the topic. And this is interesting because a student never have preparation for the topic and student selected and then they have to bid for the topic being taken. And what the student do is students then the innovate solution. So after having the what factor and then a student must develop a solution and student must find the solution must do several steps in order to build the solution. Next. Okay, so if we break down more detail about the capstone domain, student perceive that the capstone domain is one third is from the student lecturer innovation and student perceive that two-thirds is it is problem from the commercial project. So students think that what they do can have commercial values. So it means that when they build the solution, then the solution can have a commercial value. So it means can be implemented, and it means that the product being developed is can be used and people willing to pay for use the product built. And if we see the origin of the capstone problem, student perceive because as part of the evaluation of the capstone project, I surveyed the student that already finished and complete the capstone project. They perceive that the capstone problem is come from industry. So this is one third of the student being surveyed said that this problem is come from the industry. And also one third of the student also perceive that the capstone problem is from the academic research. And 17% perceive that the capstone problem is innovator and their user because one of the capstone topic is about the open innovation, and 17% thought that it is practitioner problem. So we can see here that students perceive the capstone problem is for me it's very interesting because they can see that the capstone project is to develop the innovative product. So it means the product itself have the value added is different from the existing product being built. So then they not only develop or build product, but they have also to do the research. They have to innovate on the product. Okay, next. Okay, so when the student did their capstone project, it means that they have to integrate knowledge learned over many spirited courses. So it means that not only student using one or two courses that already taken in their previous semester, but they integrate many courses like the software development courses, the requirement engineering, the software architecture, the software quality assurance. And the interesting thing is they also have to learn new skill about the application program interface programming because this is not specific being taught, but they have to master the AP programming. And they have also to use the project management because this is not one person final project, but this is must be conducted by team, and they also have to use their web programming skill, and they somehow, because this is product development, so it means the product must be useful, must be easy for the user to use. So it means they also have to learn about the interaction design. And of course, they have to apply the human-computer interaction principle that are already taken. So the interesting about the interaction design is not compulsory, but it is what we call selected courses. So it means not only it means that this is not compulsory for all students, but some students when they want the interesting about the human-computer interaction and user experience, then they take the interaction design. Okay, next. Okay, so when they take the capstone project, then students have to learn many things. The first, of course, the project management, because they have to plan, they have to make a proposal, and they have to execute the plan that they already make in the proposal. And then they have to have a discipline time management, because the capstone project is running total about 1 year in the 2 semester. So they have to like be disciplined because there are several milestones that they have to be achieved, and they have also to understand the system implementation, and they have the orientation about user satisfaction, because if they cannot make the user satisfied with the product, so it means the evaluation of the system is not good. And students learn to the project completion. This is important because for this type of the final project from the student, the product must be finished. So it means they have orientation to complete the project. And because this is a team project, so it means they have also to understand the team software development. So it means the task must be defined, the task, and then is divided to students in the team member. They have strategy. So it, for example, they can like make the separation between one person doing the UI, one person doing the documentation, one person doing the testings. So it is on the team software development discipline, and they have also to make sure that they fulfill all the functional and non-functional requirements that define not only in the beginning, but also they have to anticipate if there is changes in the requirement. Now we'll talk about what happened in the functional and non-functional requirement later in the case study. Next. Okay, so the Capstone project is students must work together in groups to develop software in response to real world problem. And it is a team of consisting of 3 students. And the interesting thing is that because in the beginning they have to bid on the topic, so it means they first doesn't prepare for the topic because they have to choose. And after choosing a topic, then the team is formed. Okay, so maybe the student can have like agreement in the beginning that, okay, I want to be with you and you, so let's choose the same topic. So they pick the same topic, but it is also possibilities that actually they don't form the team in the beginning, but the team is formed after some students choose to select one topic, and then the team is being formed. So, this is also interesting because another study said that it is better to form a team with a different background of the students, so they can have the real experience by how they form the team, how they introduce itself, how they get used to work together. So it doesn't have to agreement in the beginning of the students to form a team. Next. Okay, so this is a senior capstone project because this is a requirement to graduate for the undergraduate program. So it means the capstone project consists of senior student that need to complete their study by pass the capstone project. Okay, so what the activities during capstone project? So they have to do the idea validation because even though that the topic is given by the lecturer, they have to like mature the idea. So they have to validate the idea how the idea is apa ya um, paling sesuai dengan kondisi with the real user. So it means that they have to ask the stakeholder, the user, to reflect the real condition. And then after they validate the idea, then they try to develop the product. And after the product being developed, they have also to do the product validation. They come back again to the user and show the prototype and asking the opinion whether the product is according to the user need, the user expectation, and then they also have to test the product. And by testing, by validation the product, so the team can get the feedback feedback from the user. So it means the product is being refined, and as part of the the Capstone requirement, they have also to make some software documentation from the software requirement specification, design, the software design document. They also have to report the testing that being conducted. So also because the Capstone activities is product development, so it means not only doing the software development, but they have also to do the project management. So it means they have to to manage the time, they have to manage the resources, they have to divide the tasks between the team, and also they have to make sure that what they build is according to the time limitation. The time limitation is 2 semesters, 1 semester for making the proposal, and the second semester is to develop the product. They have to conducting user studies, and after the product finished, they have to testing the. So this is all kind of the activities and tasks in the project management. And the difference between the Capstone project between others assignment in the course during undergraduate is they have to find the real user. So it means there is also a user study. They have to study what the user need, what the user expectation, what is the real condition and the real requirement, and then they formulate the problem and then do the prototyping and back to the user by user validation. And it is also activities to client and industry consultation, because this is not only artificial product development, this is a real product development. So it means they have to consult to see what happened, what the real condition in the client and industry setting. I will talk later by giving example. And of course, this is not individual assignment. So it means that the student must have offline and online supervisor, a student meeting. Before the pandemic, we have some offline meeting, and after the pandemic, the COVID pandemic, we have the online meeting. Okay, and we also target to submit into the copyright. So the other activities is also copyright drafting and submission. And then in the last activity is the student must demo their product not only to the lecturer, but also we invite industry, we invite the external jury to make an evaluation and assessment about their final product. So this kind of activities is combined not only the implementation of subject being taught in the courses, but also they have to do the real project development. They have to do the user study. They have to meet with the industry and the client in order to develop the real product. Okay. So what kind of software development methodology that being used? Of course, the favorite is waterfall. Okay, they use the waterfall. This is actually what if the requirement is clear and then the requirement is not changing too often, you can choose the waterfall, and it is also step-by-step practices in the process of develop the software, and everything is going well. The waterfall is enough. So it is basically using the waterfall, and it based on the questionnaire and the response of my student. And one thing using the design thinking, because it need to be accelerated, and also because when the COVID, the situation then changed. They have difficulties actually to conduct direct observation. So and then they have to introduce the design thinking processes. But they still use waterfall. Okay, so you can use the waterfall because the requirement is actually clear. The requirement is actually based on the research and also the innovation idea. Okay, next. Okay, so the very interesting in the Capstone project is not only a student have to work with the team, but they don't only focus in the technical aspect, in the specific course or the specific knowledge. Okay, the very interesting about the Capstone project is the student must also acquire and also use and increase their soft skill. So when you do the Capstone, it means it is teamwork. You have to increase and use the communication skill, because now you are in your own, but you are part of the team. So in the team, there will be like many ideas, many things that must be well communicated. And it is also interesting that you have to discipline, because when you in the project development, it means you have to follow the schedule that already formulated. So it means you have to discipline to in the job assignment. And this is also time management, because if you don't manage your time well, you can miss the deadline. You cannot finish on time. And because this is teamwork setting, so it means you have to be patient, because now you not in your own, now you are as a team, and the team consists of some of 3 students. Maybe there were conflict, and actually, yeah, they have actually one team is have problem with their team member. So it means that you have to be patient with each other. And you also have to good team member understanding, because now you are a team, so you have to like unify different people in one team to get the one team focus, and it means you have to, the next is you have to manage the team, and even though that it is team, so it means there is must be a good leadership to direct, to manage the project on time. And one the students said that they also have the good interview skill, because they have to conduct the user study. So it means they have to have a good approach when they interview the user, when they have to ask the opinion and get the input. So it means you have a good interview and communication skill, and also you have to be good, effective information gathering from the user. So it means that you ask the right question, so you can get the right information on, or feedback from the user. Okay, and this soft skill is you cannot get when you do the final undergraduate project by your own, by only address one specific technical problem, because you don't need to require high soft skill when you do it alone. Okay, so what then the student get when they do and finish the Capstone project? So their teamwork skill increase, because they can they now have the experience to do the teamwork, and their communication skill is also increased, because this kind of skill actually more effective when you face the real problem. Okay, and in the setting of the software project management, software project development, and you also now have the experience to time management, to manage the project. So you have to have a good plan in order to finish the Capstone project in the 1 year, in 1 year. And the result is the student then can build useful product. So the product must be finished, and there are some criteria to assess, to evaluate the finishing product. And they also have the team development, because when they start the project, maybe they are not close friend. So there may be some of them is is actually in the different class. So it means they not have the close relationship before, but when you join into the team, and the team have have the specific goal and target, and then it means you have to form a team, and this is a technical team and also a management team also. And what you got from the Capstone project, the student then get a feedback from the industry. In the last assessment, in the last grading, the student is assessed by the industry. So they get a feedback, they get input what they should do in the industry setting. So also this is about the team building. So they get the team cohesiveness. So now they understand how to build, how to be in team, and the team is building the usual product. Okay, next. Okay, so I also asked why the student take the capstone. Okay, the almost all the student said that they want teamwork, so they want to be in the team in apa namanya to build the real product. Okay, the product development. And one student answered that he want to solve and also give the solution for challenges on the research and innovative product development, because this TA caption is innovative product, so it means the product itself must be have added value, must be differ from the existing product. So it means not only building product, but also the student must do the research, and then on the research, then develop a product. So there is a added value here. Okay, so you can see here, this is what the student says. So the level of effort is half between the very good and excellent to be in their effort to finish the capstone project. Next. And about the course content. So yeah, I think the result is overall is good, is satisfaction. The learning objectives were clear, and the course content was organized and well planned. You still see that third of the student disagree with this. Yes, because this is actually just run in 1 year. So we actually also use this as a feedback for the next capstone project. And course workload was appropriate, so they all agree that the workload is appropriate for apa namanya 1 year time. And I think all my student is busy, is very busy actually, and they give their best effort to finish this course. And course organized to allow all students to participate fully. So you can see that all is actually agree, okay, to the capstone project, even though that it is consists of 3 students in a team, all get the job. So everything is busy, so everyone is busy. No, there is no team member that is can still playing game or jalan-jalan, shopping. No, everyone is busy in the team to to achieve, to finish their capstone project. Next. Okay, so what the output? Okay, in the end of their capstone project, I asked them and I challenged them whether that they want to what do you call, to fill the copyright for what they did in 1 year. Okay, so we send the the copyright application. The student, the team draft the copyright application, and then alhamdulillah I have 3 group. All the 3 group under my supervision and also Pak Kemas Museum supervision got all the copyright. Still not patent, but it shows that what they built have the added value, have the innovation value, because you cannot get the copyright if your product is the same with the other product. Okay, but because the product is different with the existing product, so we got the copyright. Okay, next. I will show some of 3 of product that being developed in the Capstone project. So first is the open innovation marketplace. So this is marketplace. So you can like do the transaction to buy. But what is buying? What is the object of transaction here? The object of transaction is innovation. Okay, yeah. So the innovator can announce their innovation product or services, and then people with their problem can buy the innovation offered by the innovator. Okay, yeah. Okay, and next, the second is, okay, this is programmatic advertisement. So it means you can buy services from the programmatic advertisement provider. So now you can sell your website spaces to be put some advertisement. Okay, yeah, and this is based on the website. Maybe you already know about the Google advertisement or Facebook advertisement. So this is make like that. Okay, but based on the website, and this is also different with the Google and Facebook advertisement. Okay, I still have time. Okay, next. So teman is tenant management services. This is actually when we have an event and the event management provider want to sell the space for event. So apa namanya? You can use this one. Okay, yeah. Okay. And all of those three products is, I said again, that they all have the innovation value. And what actually I did is just only give a topic or idea, and my student, they implement, they also conduct the research. Can you go back to the previous slide? Okay, so this is very interesting because actually first we start with the social media advertisement. So, I mean, we have to connect and use the Facebook and Instagram based API. But when the COVID pandemic happened, the Facebook closed their API. So what my student did is I suggest them to try not using the Facebook API, but based on the website. And actually, I don't know how to implement. So my student conduct some research. They studying the techniques, the solution, and the students, the team that built the solution. So with the kind of capstone project, so it means that the student also have to more reliance to also conduct more research. But the research direction is to build a working product. Okay. Okay, so this is the second part of my presentation. So after I share on the experiences in the 1 year project, we can analyze and we can see what the literature said about the Capstone project. Okay, next. Okay, so the obtainment of program outcomes cannot be achieved without the opportunity for the students to be exposed to commercial grade software development. Okay, so it means student is not enough only learning software development life cycle like waterfall, like agile, but they have to get exposed with the real and also the process of software development used in the industry and also of in the commercial software development. So then they get their hand dirty by doing all the software development step, and they can get more understanding and the strategy to implement the software development life cycle, not only based on the theory, but they can get real experience. And even the most complex academic software engineering exercises fall short in capturing the project dynamic of building a real world software application. So when the student build the real software, so it means they in the project management setting, they get the dynamic project environment, also the changings. Okay, I mentioned that one of student in one of the team is actually cannot continue. So when the team get this condition, so it means they now start from the three student team member into two student team member, and it means that they have to change the plan. They have to do the orientation of the project completion. So this is very dynamic, because what happened, what happened, and the goal, the ultimate goal is you have to finish and you have to build the software. So this kind of dynamic is is cannot be met if the student only take the assignment in course, because there is always adaptation gitu kan ya, and the lecturer will always understand, but in the capstone setting the tuntutan, the requirement is higher. So this is very dynamic. Next. Okay. So the literature says that the educator, the lecturer have stressed that the skills required for effective project work should be integrated early in the undergraduate program. So it means the school must prepare and must make sure that all subject is actually being taught. So the software development, the project management, all the foundation is must be taught before. But of course, because this is not only engineering project, but this is innovation or innovative project. So it means the student must also add or learn new skill that require in order to build and finish the project. There are also the skill that industry emphasize as being necessary for graduate to pass. In particular, these are problem solving. This is problem solving because you given problem, the student given problem, and the student must also give their solution. And it is also the right event to student practices or use the communication skill, because not only they're working as a team, but they also have to conduct a relationship with user. So either the verbal, presentation, written, and interpersonal skill is more required in this kind of course. Apa namanya? If we compare with the final undergraduate individual project. Okay, and also working in a team and also need the project management skill. Okay, next. The literature also says that for better results, all required courses have been taken because the foundation course must be taken, and because in this capstone opportunity, you implement what you already learned in the previous semester, but you also have to learn new competencies, new skill needed in order to finish the project. But if you already take all the foundation courses, so it means you just enhance your knowledge in certain area. And the next is, it is better that for the type of capstone project, infrastructures and financial support from institution. So in our experience, we give student amount of money so they can use, for example, to build or hosting the server. And if you like, you can also buy some devices, but the amount of money is not big, but it can help the student to implement on their product. Okay, so in our capstone project, it is actually a start or begin as a internal project, but some of the student is also get advices or consult with the other the external parties and the industry. So for example, in the adboard solution, the programmatic advertisement, they get consultation from advertising startup, digital advertising startup, because actually they have real experience, real condition about technology and challenges in the digital advertisement. So involve external partner, industry more preferable. So it means the real product development. So it also, from the institution perspective, it can be also cooperation and strategic partnership with the university, and then it can be continued into the development of research partnership. And if you are lucky, the student team can get the real support sponsorship. Okay, yeah, and actually one team is get offer from the digital advertising startup to continue their capstone project, because this is they see that what they build is have this opportunity. And the capstone project is actually a kind of requirement if your institution or the program try to achieve the International Engineering Accreditation Program. For example, ABET. ABET is need that the student conduct the capstone engineering project. Okay, next. This is almost finished, Pak Jati. So, list of capstone. Okay, so one of the literature says that they conducted their capstone project in the studio lab setting. So in the studio lab, it is equipped with the software engineering development environments, method tools, testing tools, and also configuration management tools. So they are infrastructure, because some of the tools maybe is is not open source, so it means it will be costly if you have to buy apa namanya testing tools for and also other tools for your Capstone project. So it means it must be supported by the institution. And by having the studio labs, so the learners, academics, management, and the outside world of academia and industry can have a place to meet, to coordinate. So apa namanya? This is apa namanya a good environment setting to support the Capstone project. And regardless of the and regard of software development lifecycle methodology, some literature says that a tailored middleweight process. So what does it mean? So this is the software development lifecycle processes, but it is combination of some methodology to apa namanya ya to ensure that this is still apa process based, but don't have to be like apa namanya ya heavyweight process. So this is middleweight process, and this is tailored based on the condition of apa namanya team, the program, yeah, which requires students to devote enough effort in requirement and design model. So the focus in the requirement and design model, for example, you can use the waterfall. Waterfall is actually plan-based processes, and move more to the agile method during the implementation. So this is mean that by combining the waterfall and agile, it is a tailored process. So you like a Lego or like a play and plug and play component, you combine apa processes, it's okay. Apa namanya, because this is also happen in the industry. So they combine the process apa namanya, because it is the best process according or apa namanya to the team condition, to the project condition. So don't have always use the same processes. Okay, next. Okay, and that is the end of apa namanya the Capstone project. So I can summarize that when the student do the Capstone innovation project, so it means the student not only learns the technical aspect, but most importantly is the student also will they already learn, but they have to use and increase the soft skill competencies to finish the Capstone project. Something that maybe will the student will not get if they only take the individual undergraduate final project. Okay, and actually not only the technical aspect but also the soft skill is what are the industry, what are the working environment need and see when they recruit their employee. Okay, I think that's all of my presentation. Pak Jati, I give back the time to you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dana. And so if you have any question, you can write it on the chat. I'll read out for you. Okay, so we have from Muhammad Wiki Riswanda. Okay, Mr. Dana, thank you for the explanation. But what if student want to take a capstone project and got some problem on interviewing stage? Like we can't interview users and keep tracking their behavior, especially in this kind of time, this pandemic. Yes, we can interview them by video call or something, but not to watch their behavior all the time. because by doing some research on online, they can easily fake their behavior, which is not so natural, I guess. That will somehow give a bad result. So what should the student do to solve this kind of problem?
Okay. Okay. So Muhammad Wiki Rizwanda asked a question about when or in the pandemic time like now, there will be a possibility that when we observe the user in the user study fake their behavior. Okay, actually, this is not only may happen in the online observation. In the direct observation, actually, it also may happen. Okay, yeah, about the fake behavior. I think for the fake behavior, it is then apa ya, need to do more observation. I mean the amount of observation is must be increase, not only one or two, but I think it is better for us to conduct some observation and then do the analysis, and we want to see if there something strange is there any abnormal data, so we can then can plan to do what we call revalidation, or yeah, you can validate or you can confirm the abnormal or the string data, and I think this is when we do the research, actually this kind of activities is iterative. So it means one iteration, if it is not enough, so it means you have to do the second and apa namanya, the third and etc. So this also in the product development, this is there is a feedback cycle. So it means if apa namanya, if the result is still not apa namanya fulfill the target, so it means you have also to take the apa ya, the observation on the input to improve the product, and then you have to go back to the user and try to validate whether the refinement is now can fulfill what the user expectation, and this is apa namanya not one time cycle. So it means apa namanya, it is now a common for the team development that doing apa namanya or taking the feedback early and then go back to the testing, and apa namanya yes, still apa namanya if you still not get the expected the expected apa ya still cannot fill the expectation, it means you have to improve and go back in the apa user study. Okay.
Okay, so we have another question, maybe the last one.
Yeah.
Because we don't have that much time. So from Imam Ashari, how do we implement this project better in our outdoor or indoor, maybe online or offline? What is the solution if the student don't have IT, because not all student maybe it tell us about the network? Maybe not everyone have the internet.
Okay, so I'm not sure about what the implementation outdoor or indoor is. Does it mean when you do the outdoor? So it means you can directly meet the user or the participant in product development. I'm not sure about that, but I will assume that if you doing the outdoor, so it means you have good and direct access to the user, and if you doing the indoor, so it means you have limited access with the user. Okay, so that is my understanding of the first sentence. The second sentence is how's the solution if the student doesn't have IT, because not all students difficult in network. So it means the internet access is that. But I assume that if you working in team, so you have to have a good teamwork. So it means you have to well communicate with the team. And of course, if you don't have the IT support, but the condition is possible for you to make coordination, so it doesn't need the IT support. Okay, yeah. But in the pandemic period like this, so it means we depend in the internet access, and so it is so I mean we can differentiate. The answer is if the in the time of a pandemic and not or non-pandemic time. So if the non-pandemic time, so it means you don't need to depend or rely totally in the IT support, because you can do it in the same room with your team member, and you can have access, and also you can communicate with the user. So I think all you need is just minimum is your laptop, with everything already installed, and doesn't really need to access to the internet. But in the pandemic time like this, I think there are some limitation. So you cannot gathering too many people. So actually the IT support is very vital. So it means you can still working together. You can still working as a team anytime, anywhere. And as Muhammad Dwiki Riswanda said that you can involve your user and participant also by online. Something that is you cannot easily get when the condition is not a pandemic. So I think when pandemic and not pandemic, every condition have the advantages and also disadvantages. Okay. Okay, Pak Jati, that is my answer.
Okay, so unfortunately we don't have many time left for your session, so I guess that's all for the Q&A. So thank you very much to Mr. Dana. Maybe if anyone has any question, you can ask directly to Mr. Dana, okay? So with that, that marks the end of our first session. So for the next talker, so I want to make sure first, are you with us, Professor Shukor?
Yeah, hello.
Okay.
Hello, Mr.
Welcome
Jati.
to the session. So
Right.
let me
Thank you.
introduce
Thank you.
him first. He is a deputy rector at UITM Perlis branch, and he also a faculty member of Faculty of Computer and Mathematical Science, University Teknologi Mara, Perlis branch, Malaysia. Previously, he has held visiting fellow position at Universitas Erlangga and visiting researcher position at Universitas Islam Riau. So, to Associate Professor Dr. Syukor Sanim Muhammad FAUZI, I give you the space and time.
All right, Mr. Jati, thank you. 1 second. I would like to share my slide.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Can you see the slide?
Okay, we can see it. Maybe you can put it. You can zoom it so it looks larger.
Okay. Now,
Okay.
how it looks like? Is it okay?
Okay.
Full screen?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Can you hear me? Suara saya dengar tak? Jelas?
Ya, jelas.
Loud and clear. Jelas ya?
Okay.
1 second. Okay. 1 second. All right. Okay. Thank you again, Mr. Chairperson, Mr. Jati H. Hussein from Indonesia. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good afternoon to all of you. So again, my name is SHUKOR Sanim bin Muhammad FAUZI. So I'm from University Teknologi Mara Perlis branch. Okay, so first of all, I think it is indeed a great pleasure for me to be invited to give a talk, okay, in our first international joint webinar between UITM Perlis branch and also TELKOM University, Bandung, Indonesia. So I would like to thank my members of the TELKOM University, Bandung, Indonesia, and also members from Advanced Computing and Technology Research Group, UITM Perlis branch, for putting this joint webinar together to offer a platform for the sharing of ideas and also experiences for the for the betterment of our institution, both institution, I think. So I'm proud to be part of today's webinar. So a little bit information for your information for all of you for information. So this webinar was one of the outcome from our group's meeting, okay, collaboration meeting initiated by Advanced Computing and Technology Research Group and also TELKOM University Indonesia, which is Dr. Dana and also Dr. Maharani, okay, attended by Dr. Dana and also Dr. Maharani. So in that collaboration meeting, we have discussed a few future collaboration that we can initiate together between both ministries. So this is the first outcome of the meeting. This is the first program. This is the first activities that basically we planned in that meeting. So, and I believe that this webinar will be a setting point for our collaboration, and hopefully more initiatives will be put in place in the near future. All right. So, all right. So a little bit about today's talk, basically. So I think one of the important things among institutions of higher learning in today's higher learning around the world is the current, we need cooperation in research, teaching, human resource development, technological innovation, publication, and others. So this, I believe, in today's webinar, mark another milestone that can assist us to strengthen the relationship between UITM Perlis branch, okay, via ACT Research Group, and also TELKOM University, okay, Bandung, Indonesia. So that is one of the objective of today's webinar. And then the second objective is to basically to be a platform to exchange ideas, okay, expertise, information about research, publication, and others. Okay. So I think I don't need to introduce about myself. So a bit about our university. Okay, so our university is known as University Teknologi Mara. So it is a big university. Okay, we have one big system, okay, throughout our country, throughout the nation, Malaysia. So basically, the University Teknologi Mara is the largest university system in Malaysia. Okay, it is a what we call is government based university. Okay, so through a statewide network of the nation, we have 4 satellite campuses, and then we also have 12 branch campuses, 9 city campuses, and also 21 affiliated colleges, okay, throughout the country, where our UITM system basically educates over 170,000 students, okay, all around Malaysia, and we have basically around 8,000 academic staff, okay, all over Malaysia. So we are from, so UITM Place branch is one of the branch, okay, in UITM system. It's located in northern region of Malaysia, just nearby certain region of Thailand, certain region of Thailand lah, okay, Selatan Thailand. Okay, so to be specific, UITM Place branch is located in Arau, okay, Perlis. Perlis is a state lah, kalau di Indonesia kita panggil sebagai provinsi ya, Dr. Dana, provinsi. So was established in 1974, basically at Padang Katong, Kangar. Okay, so that makes it as the 3rd largest UITM campus in the whole country, basically. And in 1918, so 1918 ni year tahun di mana saya dilahirkan lah. Okay, the campus moved to their permanent location in Arau. Okay, where the current campus is located right now lah. Okay. So now UITM Perlis is the largest, you can say that the largest branch campus around the country, okay, in terms of by the number of students. So we have around more than 7,000 students and more than 700 staff, okay, which comprises of 350 academic staff and 350 administrative staff. So in UITM Perlis branch, we have 7 faculties, okay, in UITM Perlis branch. It comprises of faculty of accountancy, okay, computer and medical sciences, business and management, architecture, planning and surveying, applied sciences, sports sciences and recreation, and also plantation and agrotechnology. So we offer, in UITM Perlis branch, we offer almost 30 different courses, okay, ranging from diploma until ranging from diploma, degree level, and of course we also have postgraduate studies. Okay, majority, most of our postgraduate studies students are postgraduate by research. Right, there's a little bit about UITM Perlis branch. Okay, kita pergi ke apa nama, saya cuba kenalkan dululah my university, okay, my other UITM system, and this one is about my research group, okay, Applied Computing and Technology Research Group, a little bit about this group. So this group comprises of 5 different members, okay, ranging from different expertise. Okay, we have multidisciplinary members in this group, okay. The first one is myself, right? My expertise is in software engineering and also mining software repository. And then we have Dr. Tajul Rosilaza, okay, graduated from University of Nottingham, United Kingdom, and his expertise is in fuzzy logic system, okay, and then basically in artificial intelligence. And then we have Dr. Nurul Ain, okay. Dr. Nurul Ain is her expertise is in GIS or Geographical Information System. We have also Mr. Ray Adeli JM Gini, okay, the guy, lovely guy from Sabah, okay, just coming back from Sabah. Okay, his expertise in cloud computing, and he has a very good expertise in technical part. Okay, majority of the technical part or technical thing is handled by Mr. Ray. His expertise also in IoT or Internet of Things, and we have also Dr. Rohala Maskat from UITM main campus. Okay, Inshallah. Okay, her PhD is in computer science from UK, and her expertise is in machine learning and also data science. Okay, this is the niche area about our group. So basically, as I mentioned before, just now, so our group comprises of different expertise. Okay, different expertise. Okay, where we focuses on the application of extensive knowledge in computing, such as software engineering, okay, artificial intelligence, big data, Internet of Things, geographical information system, and others. So, so to achieve this goal, the group basically used to develop software, okay, software system, hardware, and also state-of-the-art of technological solution for a variety of domains, okay, variety of domains, okay, healthcare and etc. From commercial and industrial solution to experimental evaluation. Okay, we also do empirical work. Okay, this is the list of our collaborators. So we have a list of collaborators such as from Chile itself, okay, from University of Concepcion, Chile, from Deakin University, Australia, and from Malaysia we also have University of Malaya, University of UTHM, University Tun Hussein On, UKM, University Pendidikan Sultan Idris, okay, and then from Indonesia we have Universitas Erlangga, and then we also have Universitas Islam Negeri Sukarriau, and then we also have Universitas Islam Riau (UIR). Then the new one added to the list of our collaborators is Telkom University, and the other one is the new one is University of Calcutta. Okay, just a summary of ACT achievement. Basically, we have we managed to receive almost can say more than 1 million, okay, total value of research grant, okay, from the total of more than or almost 20 different research grants from internal and also from national funder, okay, such as Ministry of Higher Education and etc. And we have, you can say, roughly around 160 publications, okay, ranging from index journal, okay, impact journal, okay, conference proceeding and etc. We have 2 IP, intellectual properties, okay, and we do supervise a lot of students, okay, in this group. So at the meantime, we have around 7 prospective students from master by research and also to PhD, okay, and we actively involved in as a technical committee in what we call in international conferences, where from the statistic we involve more than 140 review activities, okay, ranging from journal and also conferences. And we have, at the meantime, we have almost 60 final year project students, okay, under our group. Okay, so now, so this is the main agenda of today's presentation, okay, where I'm going to talk about a socio-technical congruent in software engineering projects. So basically, socio-technical congruent is one of the emergent field or emergent agenda in software engineering field. Okay, basically just being introduced by SE gurus, okay, SE gurus John James Huxley from Carnegie Mellon University back in, if I'm not mistaken, in around 2003 or 2000 plus lah, kalau tak salah saya. Okay. So this is the outline of today's presentation. All right. So we'll start with a research problem, and then we are going to talk about the research status quo. Where in research status quo we're going to have a look a little bit about what prior literature or previous literature mentioned about the area of the study, and then we're going to focus on what are the gaps that basically exist in this field, okay, basic gap, okay, and then of course STC. I think majority of us don't know what is STC all about, so I think it's good for me to need to introduce the term, okay, in this field, okay, what are the terms that basically interrelated or correlated in STC. Basically, we have a few terms like actual coordination, coordination requirement, and etc. And then we proceed with research goals and question, and we have here research method, a brief research method. Okay, a brief research method is just a high-level research method because this research is basically involves a lot of abstraction. Okay, a lot of abstraction, and then a lot of computation. Okay, in this. So in research method, I try to briefly describe what are the steps involved in this study. Okay, what are the what we call the equation involved in this study and etc. But just a little bit lah, sebab kalau terlalu ditekankan tentang method, so saya takut nanti orang sukar untuk follow this presentation, this talk. And then result and discussion, and finally the conclusion of this talk lah. So right, research problem. We started with research problem. We start with research problem. So as you can see here, so I think nowadays the development environment has evolved to become complex and distributed. Okay, why it has evolved to become complex and distributed? This one of the main reason is because the changes, okay, the changes of the environment, of the development environment. Okay, previously most of the development only involved collocated location. Okay, meaning that all the developers, all the engineers, okay, are collocated in one building, in one room, in one company. But okay, but today all the development environment has shifted, okay, to another context, to another environment, which known as one of that known as geographical software development, or GSD. Okay, when we talk about GSD, it means that the development team, okay, or development team, or the development companies, or the developer, the engineer itself, are located in a different places, okay, different places all around the world. Okay, maybe some of the engineers are located in Malaysia, some of the engineers are located in UK, some of the engineers are located in Australia, and etc. Okay, this is what we call as geographical software development. Okay, so this basically has contributed, okay, to a large number of developers working together with a large and common set of highly interdependent artifacts and tasks. Okay, when we talk about artifacts in software engineering, okay, in software development, okay, it comprises source code files. Okay, even the meeting minute also is also part of the artifacts. Okay, right? Coding and etc. And also task list based on Hubslab and Mockers. So the underlying technical dependencies. So these underlying technical dependencies among artifacts and tasks, okay, tasks has created social dependencies, okay, among team members, which basically necessitate, okay, coordination in the team. Okay, so okay, a study has shown that the lack of proper coordination can be a major cause of software defects and problems. Okay, this is something that we cannot argue. Okay, when we do not have a proper coordination, so that means everything in software development, okay, in a software development project maybe can be chaos. All right, okay, that may cause major effect to software defect. Okay, to performance of the developers and etc. Okay, a little bit about research status quo. So this try to summarize what are the things that being mentioned by the literature, okay, in the previous literature, in the prior literature. The first one, developer coordination is important. Of course, coordination is crucial. Coordination is important in software development because, as I mentioned before, it directly, okay, related to development performance. Okay, how long we take charge to complete a certain task. Okay, so this is what it refers to development performance. And then the literature also suggests that previous literature also suggests that most of the literature strongly emphasizes on technical dependencies. and explicit coordination. And that has increased a recognition of the importance of social dependencies and implicit coordination. So it's where socio-technical congruence is one of the emergent measure. Okay, it's one of the new field. Okay, it's one of the emergent measure or emergent field in software engineering, but it only recognizes social and technical dependencies, but only focuses on explicit coordination. In this case, based on the literature, stated that in this case, there is a gap where implicit coordination is underrepresented in the STC measure, and try to align it with group awareness or GA, only embodies many aspects of implicit coordination. Okay, so this is the research gap. Okay, research gap. What are the things basically happen at the back? So literature suggests that one method that can be used to measure coordination and capture the dynamism of social and technical dependencies is known as socio-technical congruence, right? So STC is defined as a fit between the coordination requirement, right? Later, okay, established by the dependencies among tasks and the actual coordination activities carried out by the engineers. So although recent work on STC suggests that the alignment, okay, the alignment or the fit, okay, the congruence between AC or actual coordination and coordination requirement or CR is positively related to performance, but there is still a gap that exists in the existing current STC method. Firstly, the current STC method only conceptualize a small part of coordination, okay, mostly as an explicit coordination. Okay, current work only conceptualize explicit coordination as, okay, email, mailing list, IRC, WhatsApp, and etc. Okay, is actual coordination, and then this conceptualization are not complete. Okay, because based on the literature suggests that explicit coordination is not even necessary for coordination. So this is where group awareness, okay, as you can see here, okay, group awareness, okay, is recognized a theory that appears to benefit coordination because based on the literature, it helps. Okay, it used to assist group members to coordinate explicitly and implicitly. Therefore, viewing the software developer coordination from a group awareness perspective offers the potential for us to include a more valiant view of coordination as involving explicit and also implicit coordination. And then secondly, current STC method is not widely evaluated in the context of a software engineering project. Thus, it put us, I think, uninformed about the applicability of STC in other contexts. Thus, for the purpose of today's talk, okay, for the purpose of this study or this research, we basically considering group awareness as an additional conceptualization, and we further investigate the impact of STC in other SE contexts. Okay, this is the definition of term. Berapa lama saya ada jati? 30 minutes?
You have about 15 minutes.
Oh, 15 minutes more left. Oh, kena laju sikit. Okay. Definition of terms. Okay, this is the definition of term used in this research. So as we can see here, coordination in this research is aligned into two types, which are explicit and implicit. Okay, one of the example of explicit coordination is email, etc., face-to-face meeting, and etc. While example of implicit coordination includes experience working together, right? Expertise, awareness, and etc. GA or group awareness is a theory about coordination and group work, but very little application to GA in software engineering. And then here it is. The social technical congruent, again, is a measure of the mesh between CR, okay, and actual coordination, okay, of the fit, measure of the fit, measure of the alignment, or measure of the congruent between coordination requirement and actual coordination. So basically, a little bit about social technical congruent. So basically, the term social technical itself basically derived from socio-technical theory, okay, where it used to be developed. It has been developed in the mid-20th century by other fields, which is behavioral science researchers in London, okay, and one of the institutions in London, and then and so in conjunction with general systems theory, a particular expression of socio technical theory is a socio-technical system. So this term relates to the interaction between human, okay, is where the social comes from, and technology is where technicals come from, in workplaces and system in the field of business efficiency and productivity. So based on the literature, socio-technical system or theory involve several main factors, such as the structure of the organization itself, the technology, okay, used in the organization, the people, and also the task. And then the term socio-technical congruent basically originates from the one of the gurus in SE, Melvin Conway. Okay, Melvin Conway has one theory, okay, who observed that the structure of the system basically mirrors the structure of the organization that designed it. Okay, and then the alignment between developers form when the developers collaborate on the same task to keep abreast of the changes taking place in the system. And so in Conway's law argument, effective system development is constructed with smaller technical dependencies in order to avoid communication overhead. Okay, however, due to the growth of the worldwide distributed project, coordination has become more challenging. So this is where STC has been introduced, since the coordination required for more powerful technique to technical coordination. So this is another term about coordination requirement. So when we talk about social technical congruent, these are the two important terms that we need to understand. Okay, we need to properly understand what it is all about. Okay, the first one is about coordination requirement, and I also do mention about actual coordination. Okay, the first one, coordination requirement, okay, is a relationship indicating that two people should coordinate based on their task assignment. So as you can see from this slide, okay, we have a figures here. This is A, this is figure B, okay, this is figure C, okay, figure A, figure B, and figure C, okay. And this figure shows the overall task assignment step, okay, task assignment step in software engineering project, okay. So it seems some of these tasks have dependencies on the task, on other tasks, okay. You can see here. So we have, for example, here task. We have source code file here, and we have source file number 1, number 2, and 3. So this is where, and the arrow here suggests that we have a dependency among these tasks. So meaning that in order for each of the developers to complete the task, okay, for example, for task 2, so the developer A and B need to communicate together. Okay, okay. Okay, some of the tasks have dependencies in figure B. Okay, so this implies that the people who work on this task that have dependencies should coordinate, as I mentioned before. And then in this figure also, it also suggests that person C should coordinate with person B. As task 3, okay, as task 3 is dependent on task 2, meaning that in order to complete the task in task in task 3. So task 2 need to be completed first. Okay, so person A and person B should also coordinate with each other because person A is assigned to both task 1 and task 2. So in this in this study, task here is represented by an modification request. Okay, modification request in software engineering project, which we have a one database which used to store all the changes, okay, being requested by the client, or all the changes being requested by developers in order to complete a certain task. Okay, represented by task here is represented by an MR assigned to developers, where each MR has an affected source code file and software component. So in our research, we measure coordination requirement as, firstly, as a relationship that indicate that two developers change the same source code file, right? And the second one, a relationship that indicate that two components change at the same time. Okay, and then actual coordination. So actual coordination is defined as the interaction, okay, between developers to perform or to complete a task. Okay, kalau saya nak completekan task, okay, certain task, I need to communicate with Mr. Jati. Okay, if the task is directly have dependencies, okay, that's what we refer to actual coordination. The communication, what are the things that being communicated, okay? The interaction between developers to perform complete tasks in which they have a dependency. For example, person C, of course, need to communicate with person B because task 2 and 3 is dependent between each other. Okay, and then person A and B also need to communicate because task 1 and task 2 is also dependent between each other. Right? So in this figure, it shows that person C should communicate to person B, okay, as mentioned, and person A and B should also communicate with each other because person A is assigned. Person A here is assigned to both task 1 and task 2. So these are the two research goals or two research questions for this study. In high level, the main intention for this study is basically used to verify the suitability of STC as a coordination measure. Okay, because previously STC only being evaluated in a corporate software engineering project, but not in other contexts of software engineering project. So in order to make sure the STC can become a concrete, a very good theory or established theory in software engineering, so we need to evaluate, or we need to do investigation from a different angle. So one of the angle is one of the angle that we can investigate is we can investigate from a variety of different contexts of software engineering project. Okay, and then the second one, we used to extend STC. Okay, because in a research gap just now, we did mention about STC only focusing on explicit coordination. So we used to extend the STC by extending it with implicit coordination, okay, into the measure, into the research model. So then, when we extend the STC model, so then we can say that it's not a complete theory yet, but we can say that can be an improved STC measure that can be used to assist the software engineering project, okay, to reduce the coordination complexity. Okay, to reduce coordination complexity. We cannot eliminate coordination, but what we can do is we can reduce the level of coordination complexity in software engineering project. Okay, this is the brief method. So in order to test in order to verify the suitability of STC as a coordination measure, So we use here in this study, we use or we verify the STC measure in 8, okay, in 8 open source development projects. Okay, we use 8 different software engine projects, and then mining software repository is a method lah, where mining software repository is a step-by-step method or step-by-step process that we use, starting from the extraction of the data from a mining, from a modification request until, okay, we conduct the calculation, until the regression analysis at the end of the study lah. And then the second one, okay, we do extend, okay, we extend the STS model, okay, in order to verify that, okay, we still using the same data, but different dependent variable. Okay, a little bit. So this is a brief overview of the data sets that being used in this study. So we have 8 different projects here. We have Avro, Harmony, MOHD, we have Wheel project, we have Lucene, we have CXF, we have Cayenne, okay, and also Hama. So this project has a different characteristic. Okay, has a different characteristic, different attributes. Okay, in terms of the number of tasks. Okay, as you can see here, Avro have around 141 tasks, and then CSF have more than 100. CSF and Lucene has more than 200 tasks, and then in terms of number of files involved, Cayenne has more than 1,000 files, okay, involved in the project. Okay, this number of files, okay, not the line of code that involved in this project. Okay, when we talk, if we like to consider the line of code, it maybe can reach 100,000 of lines in this project, in each of the project. And then total number of developers involved. Okay, MOHD here has the most numbers of developers involved in this project, where it has 131 developers or engineers, okay, throughout the globe. And then the rest, we have, as we can see, the rest like Wheel project, and then Cayenne and Hama has, we can say, the least number of developers or engineers, where they have less than 50 developers or engineers. Okay, this is the summary of the research projects or data set used in this study. So, the research method, this is the extraction process. That is where the mining software repository used in this study. So as you can see here, we need to extract the data. Okay, the secondary data from the secondary data from the online database from the database. Okay, in this case, in this study, we use modification request database for CR in order to extract data related to connection requirement, and then for actual connection, we use to extract the data from the mailing list. Okay, the mailing list, the communication, the email, okay, that has been sent between each of the developers. Okay, from the extraction from here, okay, download the bugs report from the modification request database. Okay, when we extract, then we convert it into Excel, because, and then when we extract, we have a lot of data. Okay, we have a lot of raw data. Then from the raw data, we need to chunk it. Okay, chunk it to a different matrices, to a different metric. Remember, during maybe in your secondary school, you learn about matrix, kan? 2 darab 3, 3 darab 4. Ingat lagi tak semua kelas? Kelas macam buat kelas tak, macam buat lecture. Okay, 3 times 4 and etc. Okay, so we need to chunk it to person versus task. Remember, in previously, for example, in Lucene, we have number of tasks 247, and then person involved or developers involved 58. So that's means we need to have 58 times 200 something tasks. Okay, that means we have a very big matrices, right? Okay, and then we need to come out also a metric table. Okay, which is task versus file. Okay, like for example, like Cayenne, we have 104 tasks. So, okay, axis should have 104, and then y-axis we should have 1,370,000 files, okay, in a metric table, and etc. So, in order to do extraction, the chunk processing and etc. So, we use R script, okay. We use R script. We cannot do it manually because it involves a lot. Because first, it involves a lot of data, and secondly, we need to map the data. Okay, we need to map the data 0, 1, 0, 1, etc. for each of the cells in the metric table. And then etc. Calculate congruent. How we calculate congruent? So the next slide we'll discuss about how we calculate the congruent. And then here we also need to do, for actual connection, we also need to download data from the mailing list, as I mentioned before, and then chunk and then or map it between one developer and one developer, or one engineer to one engineer. And then in the end of that, we need to run the regression analysis. Okay, the regression analysis between the congruent result. Okay, the congruent here means that the congruent result here can be, it's ranging from 0 to 1. Okay, 1 means that the task, okay, the connection requirement, okay, and also actual connection is fit. Okay, is fit, meaning that if it is fit, meaning that the task can be completed, okay, with a very little time lah. Okay, boleh di-completekan, boleh disiapkan dalam masa yang pantas lah. Okay, that is kind of hypothesis, right? Okay. Okay. So during the extraction, we need to embed this, I call the equation. Okay, the equation lah. This is the basic equation that we use to calculate, okay, to identify the connection requirement. So maybe majority of us wonder how we can identify the connection requirement between developers and developers. So this is how we did it. So this is how we did it. Okay, we use equation here. CR represent connection requirement is equivalent or equal to TA is task assignment time task dependency. Okay, task assignment means that task person versus task dependency means that task versus file. And then we have a TA transpose T. This is the transpose of the task assignment. Okay, contohnya kalau kita ada metric table 50 darab 100. So when we do a transpose, so that means here the table should be 100 times 50. Okay, so this is the behind of the metric table. But this is just an example lah. Ini just involve a few tasks. Okay, imagine if it involve thousands of tasks, thousands of files. So meaning that, so here can be a very huge metric table. Okay, how we compute congruent? So this is the equation lah. Okay, congruent equals to and blah blah blah. So I don't think I need to elaborate more on this. Okay. Okay. RQ1. So verify the stability of SAC as a connection measure. So this is the research model. Okay, the research model. Okay, the research model. Okay. So to be specific, for this study, we perform an investigation. for explicit coordination, because we like to first verify the suitability of the coordination measure in a different context of software engineering. So we perform an investigation for explicit coordination, where AC is measured using mailing list, and coordination requirement is using file change together data. So, so based on the previous literature, also suggests that software component here, components change together, also create dependencies. Of course, in a different level of software engineering, we have file, okay, and then that level we have components and etc. Also create dependency between the developer, and of course might affect the performance. So for that reason, we decided to add component change together as an additional measure for coordination requirement. So, and then here, the variable, in order to measure the task performance, okay, we use resolution time, okay, we added the task performance measure, which means that the expected relationship should be negative, right? And then the use of resolution time as a measure for performance is not accurate, but based on literature, it suggests that the use of resolution time as a measure in open source is not really accurate. This is because the developers in open source project are not working on full-time basis. So that may impact the duration, okay, duration of time that used by the developer to complete a certain task, okay. So compared to, for example, corporate collocated development environment, okay. So thus we have included line of code LOC and productivity as an additional measure for task performance. Kat bawah ni adalah control measure lah. So this is high level. So this is the result. So what we get from the first research question one. Okay. So this slide suggests a result for the empirical study. Okay. So prior literature on STC found a negative relationship. Okay, previous literature. Okay, previous literature suggests a negative relationship between congruent and task performance as measured by MR, resolution request resolution time. But in our study, the results are bifurcated. Okay, results are bifurcated. We have a different kind of result. Okay, this is what we mean to. This is what it means by bifurcated. Okay. So in our first analysis, using bug fix only two of our projects. Okay, only two of our projects. Okay, used to align with the previous study. Okay, which are MOHD and also Avro. But the other two, Harmony and Wheel, show no consistent pattern. Okay, so we do, and our next analysis using additional dependent variable and additional measure, we also shows the same result as in first analysis. So this result was further verified by an analysis of all MR tasks. Okay, not only bugs fixes. Okay, as shown in the next slide. Okay, we extend our analysis. We extend our analysis. And so subsequent analysis found that all results were inconsistent. Okay, were consistent and as expected. Okay, and expected and as expected. Only for large project. Okay, large project here based on the literature, meaning that the project that involve more than 50 developers, right? So, but the finding for small project, where the project which has less than 50 developers were inconsistent and exhibited no obvious pattern. So an explanation was sought. Okay, explanation was sought. Okay, we tried to find out what are the things basically happen. Okay, based on data, what are the things that used to happen? Okay, the background of the project. So, and found in peer research, we suggest that coordination or socio-technical congruence is less of an issue in smaller teams. Okay, so that means the congruence or STC is a good predictor of performance in large team because as team size increase, okay, as the number of team or as the number of engineers increase, so the need for effective coordination increase in order to perform well. Okay, maksudnya kalau kita ada banyak engineers, okay, so meaning that we need to have more congruent. We need to have a very complete, okay, very fit, okay, coordination, okay, in the development team. Okay, but not in small team, because in a small team the coordination is easier. We can do contact. We can contact other team members directly in a small team. Okay. So these findings were further verified by including another 4 projects in the study, which include 2 large and 2 small. We showed consistent results with our hypothesis in as shown in the next slide. Okay, so together, so these 8 projects, okay, 4 large and 4 small projects, enhance the consistency of our finding. So thus, the key takeaway from the first RQ, the first research question, is real study only replicated for large project only. As in their study, they only studied 1 large project. But for this study, we used to verify it in a different kind of project. Okay, and then the second RQ, where we extend STC model with implicit coordination. See, so we have a lot of things that we can use as a measure for implicit coordination, but in this project, we used to extend the model by using experience working together. Okay, we used to extend by introducing measure for implicit GA or group awareness coordination. So as we can see here, we have added experience working together, okay, to present implicit coordination, but at the same time, still retain a measure for coordination requirement, okay, and task performance. So in this study, experience working together, okay, as the measure of actual coordination is measured. Okay, how do we measure? As measured is measured as the number of times developers have communicated. And so we have to count the number of times the developers or engineers have communicated. We have to come up. We have to extract the data and then we do a mapping. So this developer A, how many times communicate with developer B, for example. Developer B, how many times communicate with developer C. So all of this we use to extract from the repository and then we chunk it. We make it using the R script. R script. Okay. And then to measure the experience working together, we used to take a data, okay, from the previous 6 months within the project. Okay, we have to put a timeline, okay, on how long we should measure the experience working together. Otherwise, the study will be chaos lah. Let's say if we use to measure the experience working together for 2 or 3 years time back, so you can imagine how many times, how many matrices table that we need to develop. Okay, so that's why we come up with a decision. We decided to only focus on 6 month past experience working together between each of the developer. So in other words, it is measured by counting the number of time that everyone on the team has worked together in completing the project, as I mentioned before. So we still retain mailing lists to capture explicit coordination and files together to capture the technical dependencies of the task in software project, and also resolution time to capture task performance. Okay, so what are the results? So the result from the regression analysis, okay, we do the all the chunk, all the extraction and etc. Blah 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 blah. I don't think I need to further elaborate about the method and etc. So are consistent. The result of the regression analysis are consistent and as expected for all the projects. Okay, not just large project previously. Okay, when we verify the STS model in the context of different software engineering projects, we find out that it only applied to a big project, but not for this one. As we extend the STC model, so as expected for our project, so the model can be applied in not only small, but in not only large project, but also in every size of the project, which indicates that the higher implicit coordination congruent or the higher socio-technical congruent is associated with a decrease in resolution time, okay, because we have two different measure here, okay, resolution time and line of code change, and an increase in productivity that is with associated this where we used to measure it or associated with task performance. So in small projects, it's easy for the group, okay, a little bit elaboration why in a small project it's easy for the group members to have knowledge of who has expertise and develop habits regarding how things are done, both of which can be gained from experience working together. Also, the previous literature suggests that the implicit coordination is a predictor of a performance in small project because it is sufficient to prevent coordination breakdown, which indirectly leads, okay, which indirectly leads to an increase in performance. Okay, so this suggests that independently, implicit and explicit coordination can both play a role in developer coordination in software engineering project. So there is a brief finding, okay, of the second research question. Okay, we are almost done. So, right, almost 1 hour, guys. All right, so as a conclusion, in the study, the nature of developer coordination and its measurement have been investigated and tested. So the goal of the study was to verify the suitability of STC as a coordination measure, and also to examine more closely the role of group awareness coordination, okay, which is implicit coordination, okay, in developer coordination, research in software engineering projects or in software engineering fields, and also to validate STC as a measure of implicit group coordination. So 1 hour, I think, Mr. Jati. Sorry for dragging you. So
okay, that's fine. It's an interesting topic actually. So if anyone has question again, please write it in the chat.
Ada yang dah ni kot. Ada yang dah tidur apa?
Semoga tidak.
Since in Malaysia right now is lunchtime basically. Same like Indonesia kan. So the lunchtime kan. So maybe some of them maybe dah left the room. Okay.
Okay, so maybe it's from me. Okay, so I'm interested too. So this is the first time I heard the term socio-technical actually, and it talks about the coordination, right?
Yes.
So about the coordination requirements and actual requirements.
Okay.
For the coordination one, did it defined by someone or it naturally happens? I mean, because we have some document, we have some developers, it got naturally form muncul gitu ya, muncul karena ada engineer, ada dokumen, atau ada satu posisi, a position, let's say a project manager that assign them. Which one?
Okay, basically when we talk about coordination in software engineering, okay, we can say that the coordination is basically naturally happen.
Okay.
We do not know basically, let's say for example, Mr. Jati has need to do changes to one source code file. Okay, one source code file comprises of 100,000 of line of code. In that file, maybe normally in that file in a complex software engineering project, it normally involve or it normally need to involve other files. And as I mentioned in my talk, during my talk, may also involve other versioning or component. Okay, so project manager itself do not normally know kalau ada changes happen ni apa file yang terlibat. So normally it naturally happen lah, naturally happen.
Okay, I see. That's interesting because that's an important aspect in teamwork. Okay.
So that's why in my talk, during my talk, okay, as you can see from, as I mentioned, we need to map the coordination between developer A and task A, blah blah blah, A, B, C, and etc. Okay, so that indicates that the project manager do not know there's something at the back that happened. What are the things that need to be changed? Okay.
Okay. Okay. So we have a question from Mr. Dana. Does the software development methodology, maybe some SDLC or agile approach,
okay,
influence the result?
Okay, interesting, Dana. Good question. Yes, I have one postgraduate student who used to investigate that. Okay, but she only focused on, we have a lot of SDLC model, right? Okay, since we have a lot of SDLC model, so we used to pick only one model, which if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure whether she is here or not. Kalau dia kat sini, so then I can pass to her to answer. But basically, if I'm not mistaken, she used to pick apa nama, saya lupa lah salah satu tu. We check. It's not agile. If not, it's agile maybe. Then the result found a different things lah. Okay, different things lah. Okay, from the previous study. So it is interesting. As I can say, as I mentioned before, apa nama? So this study is a new field. STC is new field, as an emergent field in SE. A lot of things need to be investigated in order to make sure the STC can become a concrete theory. So to answer Dana question, apa nama? Yes, of course, different SDLC model. I can say different SDLC model has a different result. Why? We do not know yet, because we only focus on one SDLC model. Later, if we have, later we need to conduct additional investigation to another SDLC model. Then from that, I think we can compare why are the things, why the result is differ. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we have a question, maybe not just for Professor Shukor, but maybe Mr. Dana also know the answer. So it's from Fadlan AR. Thank you for giving me a chance to ask you a question. We know that both of universities have some good, interesting programs. My question, is there any student exchange, project collaboration, or research program between Telkom University and University Teknologi Mara? If there is any, how can students join the program? We look forward to participating in the program.
Okay. And then you would like to answer first, or like to let me answer that, or?
Okay.
So the question, I guess, comes from student from Telkom. Is it,
Yeah.
Mr. Jati?
Ya, should be. Seharusnya begitu.
Yes. What is his name again?
Far. Okay, sorry. Fadlan.
Okay, Fadlan. Okay, let me stop the slide dulu lah. Okay, Fadlan. So I believe that we will have another kind of collaboration. Like I mentioned before, in our first meeting, collaboration meeting between UIT and Perlis and also within Telkom University, one of the things that we discuss is about to have a joint international to have a series of international webinar between Telkom and UIT and Perlis. Okay, now currently Telkom University become the first host, okay, the organizer, the host for the first one. Next, later we are going UIT and Perlis, okay, via my group, via ACT research group, will organize another series of international webinar. Okay, that is one of the things that we discuss. And then, of course, we also do discuss about the potential, the other areas of the collaboration. One of that is in terms of the research grant application. We already have a discussion with Dr. Maharani to apply for one national grant in Malaysia, where that grant require collaborators from international institution. Okay, now inshallah we are working on that. And then of course about the mobility, right? The question, Mr. Jati.
Yeah, but maybe he want to come to University Teknologi Mara sometime.
Yeah, sure. We welcome that. We welcome that. You can come here to do. Okay, let me. Like with Universitas Islam Riau, basically we have a collaboration, kind of collaboration where kita ada pertukaran pelajar lah, okay, where we have around 20 to 30 students coming to UIT Templates for 1 month and then do sort of industrial training and also do final year project supervision here. And then we also, UIT Templates also send a student to URR, okay, to do the same thing like industrial training and also final year project supervision lah. Okay, in the future, after everything, the pandemic is over. We do not know when the pandemic will over, right? So we will plan in terms of that lah, Dr. Nana. Inshallah, inshallah. But right now, what we can do is we can only do an online activity lah. We can organize summer camp, we can organize boot camp where the boot camp get involved from both parties, from both university. Okay, like today's also the involvement from Indonesian student and also from UIT Perlis is basically will be counted under the KPI of inbound and outbound student. Okay.
Okay. Anything you want to add, Mr. Dana?
Yeah, I think it will be possible, and we are still, as also report for you, SHUKOR is almost in our international office and then will be handled to our legal and will be signed by rector. So I think it's not long that we can sign for the MOU.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah. So Dana and myself basically working to is currently working for MOU right now. So we have passed the MOU to Telkom University for them to go through, and inshallah, and then once completed, Dana will pass it to me, and then I will do all the I will manage all the procedures lah. Di sebelah kami, di side kami. Dan insyaAllah, maybe in 2 or 3 months time, maybe insyaAllah we will have signing lah, MOU signing between UIT Perlis branch and also between Telkom University. InsyaAllah.
hopefully it can get faster than.
Sure. InsyaAllah, we'll try our best. Because
So
we need that MOU basically because to apply the grant, international to apply one grant, which I mentioned before, we need MOU. Okay, so we try to make it faster.
okay, so Farlan, that's the. I hope sooner than later you'll be able to have some exchange to University Teknologi Mara. And maybe the last question from Humaira Yusuf. So I don't know if he or she I should refer. So what are the strategies that can be suggested for working towards achieving congruence?
Sorry?
What are the strategies that can be suggested for working towards achieving congruence?
What are the strategies? So one of the possible strategies lah, we need to have frequent communication. Okay, frequent communication. That is one of the direct strategies that we can use. Frequent communication between the developers. Okay, that is number one. The second one is we plan to develop coordination tools. Okay, coordination tools where that tools can be used to identify the coordination complexity. Where when we used to identify the coordination complexity, we can use that as a prerequisite for every time the developers would like to do any changes, okay, throughout the projects. Okay.
Okay, so unfortunately, actually, we want to have more time to discuss about the research, but
13 hours.
Okay, so
okay.
Dana's laptop already told what time is it. Okay,
All right.
so thank you very much to Professor Shukor. Maybe I can ask all the participants to show their video, activate their cameras so we can have some
picture. Yes.
For communication.
Yes, sure. I would like to see my student as well. I'm looking for my student whether they attend my talk or not. So this is the direct evidence lah. Okay.
Okay.
Bagaimana nak dilihat? Oh.
Okay, so maybe some are okay. Don't be shy. I know you guys in home maybe haven't taken a bath yet, but it's okay. Okay, so maybe I'll start taking picture. On the 3, say cheese. 1, 2, 3, cheese.
Cheese. Oh, Zayan is here. Where is Shaura? Shaura is not here.
Okay. Maybe another one.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, cheese. Okay. Thank you very much. So for participant, please wait a minute. Don't go away yet. So which is the presentation? Okay. So for all the participants, please fill the survey. I'll wait. Where's the chat? Okay.
Check. Okay, check. Okay.
Okay, so we have a survey. So please fill it so we can.
You post the link in the chat room.
Wait a minute. Okay, there is it. Okay.
Right.
Okay, especially for non-talkers. This will be used for collecting data for certificates. So please fill it. Okay, and this e-certificate will be sent into your email after we finish printing it out. Okay. Okay, so maybe any last word from Professor Shukor or Mr. Dana?
A second. I think Dana, you have anything first?
Yeah, I think Sukor, as we discussed before also with apa namanya your group and also Bu Wareh Maharani, that we will also continue the webinar series.
Yes.
We will plan for the date and we will
Okay. Yeah. So based on our discussion before, so Telkom University host today's webinar, and then the next one will be us lah, will be my group lah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
we'll inform the date later, inshallah. We'll inform you the
Okay.
date in WhatsApp group, inshallah. Maybe mungkin sekarang Agustus, maybe in September lah.
Yeah.
And then the team for that one, I'm not sure. Maybe we can talk about artificial intelligence.
Okay, that's fine.
Can we talk about artificial intelligence where we have a speaker already. Okay, from our side, Dr. Tajul will become a speaker, and then from your side, maybe we can pass the details.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will communicate in WhatsApp group later.
Yeah. Or AI and also machine learning, ya Sukor.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So again, thank you. Please accept my warmest gratitude, Professor Shukor, Mr.
Sure,
Dana.
thank you.
And again, to participants, please don't forget to fill the survey. And with the word Alhamdulillah, we finish today's seminar. Okay, so with that, I announce that this seminar is finished. If you want to leave the Zoom meeting, you are allowed to. And that's all from me. Okay.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Dr.
Thank you.
Dr. Wareh, okay. See you again. We
See ya.
communicate. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.